Do you ever arrive home, turn off the engine of your car, and then just sit there? Perhaps you check your phone, stare through the windshield, or tell yourself, I'll go inside in a minute. But the truth is, you know what is waiting for you inside. The silence, the empty bed, the food bowl that is no longer needed, and the painful realization that your pet will not be standing at the door to welcome you home. You may wonder, why am I avoiding my own house? And the answer may be simpler than you think. You are not necessarily afraid of your home. You may be afraid of the moment your pet's absence becomes real over and over and over again. Hello, my name is Joanne Berg, and welcome to my channel, Pet Loss Support with Joanne. I've been a therapist for more than 20 years, and I am a certified grief educator. I have followed the grief guru David Kessler, and his material makes sense to me. On this channel, we talk honestly and compassionately about pet loss grief, a grief that is so real, but is still too often minimized. Today, I'm going to talk about why you may sit in your car after your pet dies, why entering your home can trigger such an intense wave of grief, and what may gently help you. You are on the right channel for all of this. You are not alone, even though returning to an empty home can make you feel very much alone. So your car may become a temporary refuge. Outside your home, you remain busy. You may be working, shopping, running errands, or talking to other people. It's called distraction, which is very, very good, and there's no need to feel bad about that. For a few hours, your attention is directed elsewhere. But when you arrive home, you are approaching the place where so much of your relationship with your pet happened. Sitting in the car may give you a few more minutes before facing that reality. It does not necessarily mean you are in denial. It may be your mind and body saying, I know this is going to hurt. I need a moment before I go inside. That pause can be a form of emotional protection. Your pet may have greeted you every day for many years. Perhaps your dog recognized the sound of your car before you even reached the driveway. Perhaps your cat waited near the door and appeared at the top of the stairs or casually followed you into the kitchen. Your pet may have barked, meowed, wagged, stretched, brought you a toy, or simply looked up as though your return was the most important event of the day. Sound familiar? After a pet dies, part of your brain may still expect that familiar sequence. You turn the key, you open the door, you listen for their pause. For a second, your body anticipates the greeting. Then comes the realization they're not here. Researchers studying bereavement after pet loss have found that people may experience disbelief, preoccupation with the loss, searching behaviors, and a strong pull towards reminders of their pet. These are recognizable grief responses, not evidence that someone is grieving incorrectly. Your mind formed expectations through thousands of repeated moments. Those expectations do not disappear the day your pet dies. Your pet's greeting was not merely cute or enjoyable. It may have helped you emotionally transition from the outside world into your home. Perhaps you had a stressful day. Then you saw your pet. You touched their fur. You spoke to them. You filled their bowl, went for a walk, or sat together on the couch. Your breathing may have slowed. Your shoulders may have relaxed. You felt welcomed. You felt needed. You felt that someone was glad you had returned. Companion animals can play an important role in emotional comfort, stability, and everyday well-being. Research also suggests that the strength and closeness of the relationship, not simply the category of the loss, can influence the intensity of grief. When your pet dies, you may therefore be grieving more than their physical presence. You may also be grieving the way they helped you feel calm, connected, and emotionally safe. Now, your home contains memories that may be attached to nearly every room, and this is common in grief and human grief, let alone pet loss grief. And the entrance is where your pet greeted you. The kitchen is where you prepared their meals. The living room is where they rested. The bedroom is where you heard them breathing at night. The hallway is where they waited for you. The garden or balcony may be where they watched the world. Even an empty space can act as a reminder. The space between the couch, and the patch of sunlight where your cat slept. Even your dog. The hook where the leash used to hang. The place where the water bowl sat. You may be fine until you see one of these places. Then the grief arrives, suddenly and unexpectedly. This does not mean you are going backwards. Grief is often activated by cues and reminders. Your emotional reaction may happen before you have time to prepare for it. You are not choosing to become upset. Your surroundings are reminding your mind and body of someone who was once expected to be there. Pets organize our days in ways we may not fully recognize until they're gone. They wake us up. They remind us when it is time to eat. They need medication, walks, grooming, play, and attention. They may sit beside us while we have coffee, follow us while we get ready, or wait near the door at a certain time. Your routine was not merely a list of chores. It was a relationship expressed through repeated acts of care and love. After your pet passes away, you may come home and suddenly have nothing that needs to be done. No bowl to fill, no walk to take, no medication to give, no one watching you prepare dinner. People sometimes assume this should be freeing. Instead, it can feel deeply unsettling. The structure of your day has been disrupted. You may even feel that you have lost part of your identity as a caregiver. All normal parts of grieving, but hard, very hard. So a client once told me that she began sitting in her driveway every evening after her dog died. She said, "At work, I can focus on other things. When I'm driving, I can listen to music. But as soon as I go through that door, I know he won't be there. Sitting in the car delays that moment." She initially criticized herself. She thought she was being weak and believed she should force herself to go inside. But together, we did a cognitive exercise of reframing. So sitting in the car was not the problem. It was communicating something important. She needed help with the transition between being busy in the outside world and entering a home that now felt painfully different. Instead of judging the pause, she created a gentle coming home routine. She took one slow breath before leaving the car and said, I know this is going to hurt because you mattered so much to me. She then turned on a light, made tea, and called a friend for a few minutes. Her grief did not disappear, but she began to feel less ambushed by it. Research on pet bereavement consistently shows that the depth of grief is connected to the closeness and the attachment within the relationship. One study of people who had recently lost a cat or dog examined attachment, social support, and grief responses. It found that attachment-related factors and available support were important in understanding how people responded to the loss. Another study found that stronger attachment to a pet was associated with greater separation pain after the pet died. The researchers noted that intense separation pain could interfere with everyday adjustment and emotional well-being. This does not mean that loving your pet too much caused your grief. It means that a significant relationship has been lost. The pain reflects the importance of the attachment. Recent population research has also challenged the idea that pet loss grief is automatically less serious than grief following a human death. In one study, some participants who had experienced both human and pet loss identified the death of their pet as their most distressing loss. The research also recognized that prolonged grief symptoms can occur following pet bereavement. You are not just upset about an animal. You are responding to the death of someone who was part of your family, your routine, and your emotional world. Now, what can gently help? Here are just a couple of many possible suggestions that we can work on together. These are more general in scope, but you may find them helpful. So this is truly an area where you may want to get help that focuses on your own experience and your own story. I will meet you where you're at in grief. I can help you. So, number 1, stop criticizing the pause. You do not need to shame yourself for sitting in your car. Try becoming curious about what the pause is telling you. You might say, I'm sitting here because walking inside is one of the hardest parts of my day. Recognizing the reason can feel very different from accusing yourself of avoidance or weakness. Now prepare yourself before opening the door. Before leaving the car, place both feet on the floor, take another slow breath, and you might say, if that's comfortable for you, I know the house will feel different. I'm going to take this one moment at a time. So you are not trying to eliminate your feelings or dismiss your beloved pet. You are preparing yourself to meet them. So what happens when avoiding home becomes more concerning? Sitting in your car for a while can be an understandable response. However, pay attention if you are regularly staying away from home for long periods, sleeping elsewhere because you cannot tolerate being there, relying heavily on alcohol or other substances to enter the house, or finding that grief is making everyday functioning increasingly difficult. You deserve support before you reach a crisis point. Counseling can help you understand what your home, routines, and pet represented emotionally. It can also provide a safe space to speak openly about a grief that others may minimize. Sometimes even a small number of sessions can help you feel more grounded and less alone. So in closing, You may sit in your car because your car is the last place where you do not yet have to face the empty house. Once you open the door, the absence becomes real. Your pet is not running towards you. You do not hear the pause. No one is waiting for their walk, their dinner, or their place beside you. Of course, that's painful. Your hesitation is not a failure. It is a response to entering a home that once held a living, breathing relationship with a sentient being. With time and support, you may gradually be able to enter without feeling quite so overwhelmed. The house may remain quiet, but you may always miss the greeting, but the moment of coming home may slowly become less frightening. So, please tell me in the comments here, have you ever sat in your car because you did not want to enter your home without your pet? What is the hardest time of day for you? Your experience may help other grieving pet owners feel less alone and also make you feel less alone. So please subscribe and comment on my channel, Pet Loss Support with Joanne, for more honest and compassionate conversations about pet loss grief. And please feel free to make an appointment with me at www.petlossandbereavement.com. Simply click on Talk to Me. And really, in the closing, your grief deserves to be witnessed without judgment. It is real. Take care and see you next time.